It is the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM, and for the last time in 2023, we're catching up with Paul Dean, the president of the Ouyen Lawn Tennis Club. Paul, lovely to have you back with us. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Al. How are you?
Going very well indeed, thank you, Paul, and thanks for asking. Well, the tennis wasn't going last Friday night, so explain to our listeners why that was. A bit of a mismatch of everything in the end there, Paul.
Yeah. The weather forecast actually got us in the end. They were forecasting extreme conditions on Friday. Top temperature of 44 degrees. I was saying it's still going to be 41 at 7 p.m., which was when we were going to start, and still 38 at 9 p.m. But the temperature we ended up getting was got to a top of 36. So we could have probably played if the forecast had been right. But that's the way it goes. You've got to sort of make these decisions. Whether to call it off or not, you've sort of got to do it while the kids are still at school and that, so they can catch school buses and whatever to go home. And so that's what we did.
Yeah, well, it's a hard decision-making process, and I don't envy the fact that you do have to make it. But when we did speak to you last week, it did feel as though, if anything, it would be the rain that would get in the way of things because it was just so wet throughout the last couple of weeks. But I know it's December in Australia, Paul, but when you say that there's forecasted weather of the high 40s or mid-40s at the moment, it just feels almost surreal given how wet it's been, especially there in Ouyen in your patch.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of northern Australian, like Queensland weather. A lot of very humid, thunderstormy type weather. There were a few thunderstorms around too, but on Friday, and it has been nearly every day this week. But yeah, that's the way it goes. But anyway, we can't complain too much because it's the first night of tennis we've missed in probably a season and a half. And yeah, for once the tennis was called off, and the cricketers in the Red Cliff Cricket Association were able to play on Saturday. So one for them and none for us this week.
There we have it. Well, how do things work from that point? So obviously no games played last Friday night. How do you, tie up the formalities with the fact that there was no tennis in mind?
Yeah, all teams that were supposed to play get 2 points each, and we move on to the next round. And the only team that didn't get the 2 points was Kulwin, who were on top of the ladder. So yeah, that's handy for the rest of us. They didn't really need the 2 points anyway, so that's good for us, and a bit of a not so good for Kulwin, I guess.
Yes, that is indeed how people will see it. Well, let's talk about this weekend's game. So this is the final round before 2024, Paul?
Yeah, well, very interesting round to finish this calendar year off. Basically, if games go a certain way, every team could change position on the ladder, or if the games go another way, they could stay exactly the same. And I'll go through it. We've got first of all Kulwin versus Timberoo. Kulwin sitting on top there of the ladder. Of course, if they win, they'll stay there. If Timberoo wins, it'll depend on what happens in the other match, which is Kiamal and Torrita. There, if Timberoo win and Torrita lose, Timberoo will go to the top. And if Torrita wins, they'll go to second. And the other match there with Torrita and Kiamal, that could change everything as well. With Torrita, if Torrita can win that match, they'll go could end up on the top of the ladder depending on what Kulwin do, or stay in second. And if Kiamal win that match, then Kiamal will slip from fifth to fourth. So it could be a complete reshuffle of the ladder after this Friday night, or it could stay the same.
All right. Well, going into tonight's games, do you feel as though the week off is going to throw things out of whack at all? Because it seemed like we were just about establishing a bit of a rhythm as far as that ladder goes and the form guide goes. But the week off, do you reckon that might give some of the lesser fancied sides a bit of a reason to be incentivised to come out and perhaps upset the apple cart?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially Kiamal on the bottom of the ladder there, and as I've been saying every week, they've been so close. Every week they've lost narrowly there, and they'll give Torrita a really good run for their money there in that match there. And the other thing is with Harvest sort of not finished, but sort of wrapping up there. There might be a few more teams with nearly their full allocated players this week, so we might get a really good look at which we haven't had for a little while, on how all the teams looked as they were originally picked. And we'll might have a bit of an idea what might happen after Christmas.
Can't forget about what's happening behind the scenes in the kitchen. What can people look forward to tonight, Paul?
Yeah, got hamburgers tonight. We're sort of been doing them the last few weeks, and sort of thinking we might stick with them because they're pretty easy to cook and easy to eat and not holding us up too much. So, there's hamburgers on the menu tonight.
Fantastic. All right. Well, speaking of festive style foods and not eating at home a lot of the time, Paul, let's look ahead to what is in store for the new year post-Christmas. How do you think things will look in 2024 on the Ouyen lawn courts there?
Yeah, we'll be back first Friday in February to recommence the season. We'll have 4 weeks of home and away and 2 weeks of finals, a semi-final week and a grand final week there. So we've got getting into the business end of our Friday night competition there. And amongst that, we'll have a week of or weekend of club championships. Our singles club championships, which will be on a Friday night in the 1st of March. That is penciled in for, and we'll probably finish. We'll have preliminary matches on that Friday night, and come back Sunday afternoon or late Sunday afternoon to finish that competition off with probably a semi-final and a final. And then the week after that is our big weekend of the year, of the tennis year. As I like to call it, the unofficial 5th major of the World Tennis Tournament competitions with the Rowan Gregg Memorial Labor Day Tournament. That's on the weekend of the 8th, 9th and 10th of March there. So, we're looking forward to that.
Paul Dean, it's been great catching up with you throughout the whole back half of 2023, and thank you for all your efforts as the correspondent for us with regards to Ouyen lawn tennis on the Flow Friday Sports Show. We'll catch you again in 2024. Have a great Christmas and a very, very enjoyable and relaxed New Year.
Thank you, Alice, and yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to yourself and to all the Flow FM listeners out there. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk next year.